Hey, what's going on, Facebook family? A little evening live. Just wanted to jump on here. My question to you tonight and Wednesday night is, how fit do you want to be? How fit do you think you can be? How fit can you be at 93? At 93, have you ever thought about yourself at 93? For me, that is 45 years from now. So I want to share with you a story to encourage you, inspire you. And I got actually inspired. I just got back. I did a late workout tonight. I hit the gym. It's kind of really busy, not really my time to go, but I got real busy during the day and I committed to myself to getting my workout in. So I left the house. The house was full. The family was back. My wife was back home. It was kind of madness. So I headed out to the gym and I saw this older guy, and I don't know how old he was, but it made me think of back when I first started on my fitness journey. It was pretty crazy. I was actually at a community center, and I'll never forget, they had a gym and they had like a track and they had a basketball court and they had a racquetball court. And there was this old guy, and I didn't know at the time how old he was, but there was an older guy who would go in. He was there pretty much every day in the gym. He would do his routine. It was pretty awesome. And I was like, man, that's pretty good for an old guy. I didn't even know how old he was, but he proceeded to do his routine. And then he went into the racquetball court, and he brought out this different kind of racket. I didn't know what it was at the time. So lo and behold, I found out that it was a squash racket, and he was in there playing squash. And then you'd see some younger guys that are like, at that time, now I was in my 20s. So this guy was like, he was way older. And then there was guys that were like my age in their 40s that were going in, their sweatbands on, and they had their wrist, remember the old school wrist sweatbands, and they were going in there with the squash rackets and they were playing squash. And I'll never forget, because I found out that the guy was 93. Two things. And if you come on here, let's be social. I know it's probably dinner time for you. So if you catch this on the replay, let me know that you caught this replay. But this is a really cool story, because I was probably like literally wet behind the ears. I started training when I was about 25, 6, 7 years old. 48 now is about 25 years ago. It's 1995. So you just kind of do the math way back. And the guy has passed away, I'm sure. I haven't kept in touch with him. But he was 93 years old. And not only was he playing squash with 40-year-olds, he was kicking their ass. Like, he was destroying them on the court. And I was like, what is this guy? Like, clearly has some good genetics. That was one thing. But what I was really encouraged and impressed, and that's what I saw tonight in this older gentleman who was working out. And I've seen him before. I don't typically work out at night, but I saw this guy who was in there crushing his workout. And he had to have been in his 80s, right? And everybody else, all different ages, but he was definitely the oldest one. And he was crushing his work. And now we didn't have a squash court where I was at earlier tonight. But it reminded me of this guy that was in his he was 93 years old. And actually, he was a twin. His brother wasn't as athletic, but they were really active. He was 93. He went to the gym just about every day. Check out what he did for his workout. It was really crazy. And I want this to be encouraging to you, because if you're feeling like 93 and not in a good way, and you're like maybe 48 or 58, I want you to be inspired to think about how much life is left in your years if you actually do something about it, if you take action on that. And that's what I want to encourage you tonight, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Yes, you're probably not even on here yet. If it's not live, maybe you're catching this replay. Thank you. But I want this to just really kind of maybe resonate with you. Where do you want to be when you're 93? I'm thinking it's 25 years away. I would love to be that guy that could play racquetball. I hope I'm alive, right? I think maybe some of you are not even thinking that far in advance, and I get it. But if you don't think about when you're 93 until you get there, chances are it might be really a lot harder than you might think. So this guy not only was kicking his butt, but he taught me, which is really, really cool. He was a great guy, and he taught me, because I was there all the time because I was a trainer and I was there in between school, and he taught me how to play squash. And what was really cool, I said, how did you get so good? He's like, I've been playing this for about 60 years. The dude was playing for 60 years. And he did not have to move very far across the court. He knew every sweet spot. He knew exactly. He was so dialed in at 93. He knew what his body needed. not only did he know what his body needed, he was so dialed in. He came in, he did some stretching. He actually got in the sauna in the beginning. I think it was like the steam room, and he warmed up because this was in Buffalo, New York. So he would warm up that way. Then he had his like calisthenic type warm ups. He did his stretching. He actually did not burpees, but he did like the rollout with the wheel, 100 of those. He would do 100 rollouts on the wheel. He would do a version of a push up that wasn't like straight from the ground, but he did them off a bench. And I think he did around 100 of those. And he said, I have my routine. I'm dialed in. I know what my body needs. I know how to fuel it. And I was like 60 years, and he was performing at a high level. So now you may not have the desire to function at a high level at 93. Maybe you're just hoping to get to 93. But my hopes, what is the possibility? Now, if you're not doing anything now, if you're not even thinking about exercise, if you're not even thinking about pursuing a healthy lifestyle, then guess what? It's only going to get harder. Here's the good news. Now, here's the really, really good news. You can start now. If you feel like, man, Mark, I know you get on here, you talk about living a lifestyle healthier, eating healthier, starting to exercise. But, you know, my life is just too busy. My life is just too this. I just don't have the time. My life, you know, is just, there's too much going on. I have to take care of my family members. I have to take care of my kids. I have to go to work. I have to go. Again, you know, it comes back to the same thing. You can make excuses or you can get results, really, at the end of the day. And I want this 93-year-old experience that I had. It truly was like, it imprinted on me the possibilities. Now I was young, and I tried, we played once to twice a week when I was there, and it was for about a good year. And I tried hard. Like, you would laugh because here I am sweating, gushing and sweat all over. And he's like just moving on the court, hitting the ball exactly where it needed to go. I think I maybe beat him one time, and I think it was probably because he was sick or something. I couldn't remember, but it was an inspiring, encouraging time of my life to be around somebody in their 90s. Now, maybe you just want to hit 80. Maybe making it to 80 for you. If your family members are all around 80 and that's about it, and maybe you're 50, that's 30 years. How do you think you're going to get there? Is it sitting on your ass and doing nothing? No, that's not going to be the case. Now, again, if a lifestyle of laziness and being okay, 50 pounds overweight, and, you know, making everybody else the priority except for you, and maybe pursuing your business, and those are all good things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to knock it. But again, if you want to live a full life and get the most life out of your years, here's one thing about like surviving life. And then there's another thing about truly thriving and giving your all and your best. Now, I don't know, and you don't know, right? None of us really know when our last days are here. I hope that I'm able to make it to maybe 93 years old. That would be amazing. But I know even if I only last another 5 years, I want to give it my best. Why not make the life that you have left in your years count? Like, that's the exciting thing and encouraging thing I want to share with you in this message. And, you know, maybe you've been stuck in a rut. 2020 was one of those years, right? It freaking sucked for a lot of people. I know it was hard. It's been really hard. I get it. But you can focus on how hard it's been, or you can focus on the potential, what to come. If you have 25 years left, maybe 20 years left, maybe 10 years left, why not focus on the potential that you have left in your years and make those years count? Put some life back into your years. Now, if you're just completely lost, maybe you've been down, Mark, I've tried everything. I've heard this so many times. Mark, I've tried everything. I've tried the diet. I've tried the exercise thing. I get injured. People tell me different things. They say I can't eat carbs. They say I should only eat organic. They say I need all these supplements. I need to be on all this medication now. My blood pressure's high. I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. I'm getting old. My hormones are jacked up. My energy levels. I have this disease and that disease, and I was classified with this and I was classified with that. At the end of the day, there's things you can still do. With the right direction, with the right accountability, with the right kind of structure. If you don't have that, reach out to me. We'll see if you're a good fit. Right now is truly, you know, here's the plug for you. Why do I come on here all the time? Because this is my life's work. This is what I've made my life's work, to help those of you. If you're listening, if you're sitting on the fence right now, this is my little push off the fence. This is my little push to say, if you're going to have do you want to be like, the way I see it is, if I live to 93 and I don't take care of myself and God forbid I do need surgery and medications and maybe need, an assistive device to walk, and that day will come, but I'm going to prolong as long as I possibly can. And if God forbid I do get sick, I want to be able to recover because I've taken good care of myself. That's what it's all about. Now, I want you to have that same opportunity. I want you to be able to live. Maybe you don't want to play racquetball or squash when you're 93. Cool. But maybe you want to go on that vacation with your family. Maybe you want to get down on the ground with your grandchildren. Maybe you don't want to be in doctor's offices. Maybe you've busted your ass so hard in your life. You've made a really good living. You've worked really, really hard taking care of everybody else. And now it's time for you. It's now time that you take control. It's now time for you to put yourself at a priority. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. And I can tell you that from experience. I've met plenty of people. As a personal trainer in the past and a coach and owning a gym, I've met so many people that have busted their butts, worked so hard, and I give them all the props. Like their career, they were focused. They were the top dogs, CEO, CFO, ran businesses, the top of their class. They made the most money. They retired at a young age. And then guess what happened? They spent the rest of their days, they've been spending the rest of their days, because I know still some of them are doing that, going in and out of doctor's offices, on and off medications, in and out of the surgeon's office, right? Like stuck. Now protecting their health because their immune system's so bad because they took so bad care of it. Now there's a fear, right? There's a fear. Don't get me wrong. If you're not taking care of your own personal health, the things you can take care of, if I was that person, I'd be afraid too. There's too many things going on in this world right now. If you're not healthy, if your immune system is bad, the reality is that you can get sick. There's a higher likelihood that you won't make it to 93 if your body is being taxed and you don't have the proper health inside of you, the body you have given to you to take care of those things. Does that make sense? So anyway, I hope this message found you well. Back to that 93-year-old. It was truly an inspiration, and I hope you live to 93. I hope it's a full, healthy, long-lasting life, doing the things that you want to do, taking care of the things you want to take care of, enjoying life to the fullest. But if you're afraid that you are maybe not going to make it to that long, or if you do, you're going to be ending up in a wheelchair, then maybe you and I need to have a conversation. Reach out. Don't be a stranger. I don't bite. We'll get on a call. We can even message a little bit. We'll see if you're a good fit for my coaching program. That's what I do on a daily basis. Help people, put them on the right path. So if they want to get on that squash court when they're 93 years old, they can do it. That's all I got. Take care. Good night. I can't wait. Actually, in about an hour from now, we're doing, just to give you a little sneak, little insider, Wednesday nights I've dedicated to my inner circle, my coaching students. So every Wednesday night we do a specialty training. Tonight I'm very excited to, we're focused on the spiritual component. So we have a spiritual live training that we're doing. This is not just a physical journey. This is not just the numbers on the pound. This is about mental health, spiritual health. And I'm excited because I have a special guest, a close friend of mine. He was a pastor. He's coming on live at 7:00 to share. And we're going to go on probably for an hour and talk about spiritual health, the spirit of Christmas, and how you can be full, not just full with your stomach from dinner, but full physically, mentally, emotionally, and really, what's one of my top priorities is spiritually. What better than to have a spiritual component on your path to good health? Tell you what, I got to get out of here and get ready for it. I hope you have a great night. Love you guys. Take care. God bless.